I'll be honest, when I first saw the starting lineup, I was a little bit disappointed because with the tournament Kristen, Lindsay, and Emily Sonnet had, I was expecting them to start, but since the final was a day later, I wasn't, surprised that he was resting them. The fact that Megan and Tobin both started was a little surprising to me given the fact that they're both carrying minor injuries and they haven't had a lot of playing time through this tournament. But I mean, what are you going to do about it? You have to rest Kristen, and apparently he was resting Lynn as well. So the front three I'm okay with. It just, for whatever reason, this game their chemistry was completely off. With the midfield, again, Vlatko seems to be rotating the same four players, Sam, JJ, Rose, and Lindsay Horan, which he was resting Lindsay this game. And then the back line, I wasn't surprised with Becky and Abby are typically the starting center backs, and Kelly and Crystal, again, are typically the outside backs, but Kelly's been carrying an injury, so I'm glad that she started this game. But overall, I wasn't, I was a little bit disappointed in the beginning, but after I thought about it a little bit more, I was okay with it. I'm glad Vlatko is rotating the roster and giving players an opportunity to. JJ wins the ball, plays it to Rose, who does like a freaking, do you see that? Oh my gosh, she just totally demolished the whole midfield. And then Sam plays it through and Carly tries to win it, but it doesn't work out, and Mexican defender tries to clear it, doesn't work. Pino gets it, and for some reason does that. I think she should have probably tried to play to Sam. JJ wins the header, Pino flicks it, and then Rose just goes by herself and scores a banger of a goal. Pino plays a corner in, JJ dummies it, and then Sam Mewis scores. Honestly, good stuff. This was for Mexico. Becky had a really bad clearance, which I felt like kind of was a theme throughout this game. In my other videos, I didn't include the other team attacking because there really weren't very many opportunities. But JJ plays it through to Carly, who again tries to play it across, and the keeper tipped it and Pino barely missed it. This was when Alyssa Nair played the ball over top. I don't know how this isn't a penalty kick. I like that under Vlatko we're trying new set pieces. I think that's a good idea. Mexico again cuts the ball back and tries a long range shot and it doesn't work. JJ wins the ball again, takes a few touches forward and plays it wide to Pino, who plays it across, and again the keeper just gets a touch and Tobin isn't able to get to it. And then a bad back pass, Carly gets it. I feel like she should have played it there, like on her second touch, but she waits too long, but it's okay because Tobin ends up getting it and then gets fouled, which that foul leads to Sam Mewis's goal, which so glad Pino didn't take it. Sorry, Pino. Kelly then plays it down the sideline to Kristen Press, who subbed on, who does what Kristen Press does, dribbles it all by herself, and then scores a goal after it's deflected. JJ has such a great defensive presence. Whether a ball is kicked on the ground or in the air or whatnot, she's going to win the ball. She had like 3 balls that she won out of the air, 2 of which actually almost led to goals. The one of them that she headed to Pino, she scored, but she was offsides. And then the second one that she headed went to Pino, who flicked it to Rose Lavelle, who scored. Just phenomenal in that sense that she's like, yeah, I'm going to win the ball no matter what. I don't care who you are or what you look like or who your mom is. I'm just going to win the ball from you. I'm sorry. Her defending, I think, is something that kind of gets overlooked. There was one time where Tobin tried to play a ball to her, but it went too far. And instead of just being like, uh-oh, I gotta run back, she immediately pressed the ball, contained the defender, made her go back, which if you make a defender go back, you've done your job, basically. She had a slide tackle in the first half that would have led to a cross if she wouldn't have been there. And then she had a few interceptions where she would like slide to make she'd deflect the ball. A few I feel like could have led to a Mexico attack, so I think that was fantastic from her. And then the last thing I want to talk about at Julie is her penetrating one-time passes. Those are so important, especially since this game I feel like a handful of players held onto the ball way too long and she didn't. There was one time where she played a one-time ball to Tobin, who tried to go forward and I feel like should have passed it sooner, but then tried to go backwards and then couldn't find a pass. Another one where she played a one-time pass to Carly, who again lost it. And then she had one where she had this one-time pass over the back line to Carly, who runs onto it, and it almost led to a goal. So I think overall, Julie had a very solid game. She was, in my opinion, one of the best players of the game. She had 2 assists. She assisted Sam's goal, which was off of a corner kick. Honestly, it was very good. If you go back and look at it, I don't think she could have passed it any better. She also assisted Rose's goal through her back heel flick kind of thing, which was very cool. Overall, I don't think she was very good. She wasn't sharp, but she is coming off of an injury. She hasn't had a lot of minutes, so, you know, that is to be expected. She had a few shots that were just... NASA's still looking for that ball in orbit. So there was one where it was in like around the 4th minute where she won the ball from Sam, and she could have passed it back to Sam, who continued her run, but she chose to take this sort of shot cross thing. There was one in the 13th minute where she gets the ball from, I think it was Kelly? Maybe it was Julie, I can't recall, but she gets the ball and does a good job at cutting and going against the defender, but she wins the space for herself and decides to make a cross immediately. I feel like Pino could have taken a few more touches, maybe one more touch just to really set herself up for the cross that she wanted, or take another touch and then, you know, set up her shot. I feel like her crosses, aside from her assist, because that was good, but other than that, I feel like they weren't on target. They weren't precise. They were bouncing. They were mistimed. They were not into space. It just wasn't where they needed to go. There was one where she made a bad cross and then she just did not defend at all. I mean, you look at someone like a Julie Ertz in the prior clip that I showed, she was all over her defender. Pino could have easily stepped or at least tried to cut the pass off or close the space. Look at other players like Kristen Press and Tobin Heath and Carly, who defend their hearts out. You know, they go so hard to get the ball. She had this one free kick in the 59th minute that, oh boy, that was bad. That was rough. It was kind of, I got some major secondhand embarrassment watching. I mean, although Tobin was able to recover the ball and send it back to Kelly, who actually played a really nice cross in, it just overall was a terrible free kick. I mean, didn't give anybody on the team a chance to even try to, you know, make something out of that. In my opinion, I don't think she should take free kicks at all. Overall, my thoughts with Megan Rapinoe are kind of mixed. I think she has her moments that are really good, and then the other 50% of the time I feel like she's really bad. And it's kind of irritating because although I love players with confidence, I feel like sometimes Pino's confidence like overrides her judgment, and in a lot of these situations I feel like she could have passed it or maybe taken a few more touches, but she tries to go for the spectacular goal or tries to take it herself when she could have, you know, played the more reasonable option. And I think that gets in her way a lot of the time, but I think that's just the type of player Pino is, and I don't think that that's going to change. Tobin Heath. I don't think Tobin necessarily played bad, but I think that when you compare her to her normal standards, she was bad. I think the epitome of her game versus Mexico was runs that didn't work. She made so many runs. Either, you know, her teammates didn't see the run, didn't play it to her, whatnot. There was one where she made a run and Pino held it way too long. I felt like she could have played it one time to Tobin. She was wide open, but she didn't. There was another one where she made a run and she literally had to stop and try to backtrack herself so she could stay on sides because Sam wouldn't play it quick enough. She had one again with Sam where she connected with her, continued her run. Sam could have played it down the sidelines, but she didn't. And then the last one that I can remember off the top of my head was she connected with Rose, continued on her run, and then Rose didn't play her through. So it's not like Tobin wasn't active or wasn't trying to be involved. I just feel like her and her teammates were off with their connection for whatever reason that game. I think she had a good defensive presence. I think when you compare her defense to Megan Rapinoe, it's night and day. You know, when the ball was played down the sidelines, she made a slide tackle. She helped double team with Kelly. She won the ball. It went out of bounds, but still she prevented a 1v1 or potentially a cross or some type of attack. And she had one where she pressured the ball and forced them to keep the ball on the left side of the field, which again isn't talked about a lot, but is really important. As a forward, your job is to press and to contain. I think she had some nice crosses. She had one play in the second half where she won the ball in the air from Kelly, I think, played it back to Kelly, made her run, ended up getting the ball again and played across to Carly, who did Carly things. I think overall she lacked the creativity she normally has. She lacked the presence. She lacked the feistiness, the spiciness, the grittiness that she normally carries with her. And I felt like this game and the last game and her play overall throughout this tournament has been kind of like she's tired. I don't know if it's because of the injury she's carrying or whatnot, but so I thought overall she did okay. She didn't have her best game, but not everybody always has their best game, so I think that she's gonna be fine. Rose Lavelle. She had a few solid attacking moments. She had a goal, which was really nice. She had one attacking moment where she did like this helicopter spin move and then went to take the shot, and if that defender wouldn't have deflected it, I think it would have been on target. Oh, she had another one where Crystal Dunn crossed the ball to Kelly, who played a cross in, and Rose ended up getting it, but she tried to like curl it into the back post or something. I don't even know what she was trying to do, and it ended up going out for a goal kick. Last thing I wanted to say about Rose is I feel like she needs to be more active and more consistently active. I feel like throughout the game she'll be active for like the first 10 minutes and then she'll kind of fade away, and then she'll have her moment where she'll come back and then she'll fade away again, and one of those was her goal. So I think that she's a good player, but I think she needs to be more consistently active in the play. Carly Lloyd did terrible. Watching her made my eyeballs bleed. The amount of shots she had that she shanked, outrageous. I mean, so many opportunities that fell right to her that she just put over the bar or sent right to the keeper when she could have taken a few more touches, or literally just missed the whole frame. There was one towards the end of the game where she gets the ball in the 6-yard box, tries to finesse the ball into the corner, misses the whole goal. Not to mention she had a lot of passes that were really bad. She just gave the ball away, bad touches. I think Carly's a good player. I think she causes a lot of chaos, which is something that Vlatko likes, but you can't just put someone on the field for the sake of them being disruptive. They also have to be productive, and she's not productive at all. I think this tournament proved that she should not be a starter. If she can't perform against Mexico, then she's not going to perform against England. She's not going to perform against France. Now, I don't know if Carly just had a bad tournament or if she's just declining, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she just had an off tournament. Sam Mewis, she had 2 goals. I kind of feel the same way about her with Rose, is they have their moments when they're really, really sharp, and then the rest of the game I feel like they kind of fade out. Overall, I think she had a really great game. Obviously, she had 2 goals, and I'm really glad that she took the set piece because she has a cannon. She has a freaking rocket of a leg, and I feel like she doesn't utilize that as much as she should. Kristen, I wasn't going to talk about her, but I decided I would make a short clip about what I thought. I think it just shows the type of player that she is. To get, 30 minutes on the field as a sub and to score a goal is phenomenal. Overall, she did very well. She had a few opportunities on goal, but she did look kind of tired, but that is to be expected. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Kelly and Tobin's relationship compared to Crystal Dunn and Megan Rapinoe's relationship, because this was something that when I went back and watched it again, I definitely noticed a lot more. There was a lot of interchange between the two of them. Tobin would make a run, Kelly would make a run, one of them would drop back to cover, one would go forward. Tobin had a backheel pass to Kelly. It's just that type of relationship is incredibly important, especially down the sideline, because it creates so many opportunities. And under Vlatko, he clearly wants to get his outside backs up in the attack, which Kelly was able to get into the attack because Tobin was lenient with her and was able to work with her. I feel like Pino and Crystal Dunn don't really have that chemistry and that rock solid relationship that Tobin and Kelly do on the field. And you can see it with the runs Crystal makes that, Pino didn't play it, or, they're just not in tune with each other. And I think that if they're able to develop that relationship and that partnership even more, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, because our outside backs are going to be flying forward, and Tobin and Pino both involved in that play is going to be really important. So I just wanted to point that out. I wish CONCACAF would have given more than one day in between the semifinal and the final. I watched the final Friday night. The semifinal was on Sunday night. So they had Saturday to try to rest and recover, which is not a lot of time. So I just wish CONCACAF wouldn't have done that. I mean, Pino came out and talked about it. Kristen Press came out and talked about it. She said that she doesn't think she's can recall a time in her professional career where she hasn't had more than one day to recover. So I think that, you know, that scheduling was off. But at the end of the day, this is women's soccer. This is how they get treated.